to the cloud. I always record it to my device. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go live on Facebook.
All right, everybody behave now.
Yes, I'll try.
Pull it together, okay?
You're asking an awful lot of this crowd.
A lot.
I'm kind of sassy today, so careful what you ask me.
I love it. I like sassy Lisa.
She doesn't come around as much as I'd like.
You might see her today.
All right, nice.
All right, y'all, hang on one second. This thing is, I'm trying to connect to Facebook here, so let's see what's happening.
Oh gosh, are you like Dawn now and can't do it?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know. Oh
I
my
still,
God.
for the life of me, cannot figure this one out. I've tried
I'm on
so
a
many
different
times.
computer.
It should be just right down in the right-hand corner, Kelly.
No, I mean, it's saying live stream, Zoom, meeting, Facebook. Connect to Facebook. That's what I'm trying to do. Can you guys look and see if we are?
I have a question. Does it, while we're waiting,
Uh-huh.
inquiring minds, how many times have we done these? Are we at like 8? I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're close to 8.
Okay, so in the 8 times we've done this, how many times have we gotten on and been like professional, ready to go, understand how to hit the record, how to make it go live on Facebook? Have we done that yet?
No,
0.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
we've talked our way through it every single time.
See it, Kelly.
What, Olivia? I mean,
don't see
sorry,
it.
Rebecca.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
No, it's not going. It's prompting me to connect to Facebook. I'm on a different computer, and that may be the problem. Y'all, I might have to get on my other one. I apologize.
No,
I
it's
missed
okay.
your
Just
live,
record it and
Meredith.
we can share the recording. Yeah, I did that one earlier.
I
Yeah,
missed that.
I would just record it and we can just share it later.
Okay,
can
well,
just
it is
share it.
recording. Okay,
Okay.
then. So,
Hi, everybody.
what, Lisa?
So, hi, everybody. Surprise.
Hi, everybody. I mean, you know, whatever. It's always something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am
Really?
just so grateful to be here because I have been in a cave of sickness for about 10 days and just fighting and clawing my way out. And all I can say is thank God for my CBD because it has helped to minimize my symptoms greatly. So, for everybody, you know, who is here with us listening, we were trying to stream live to Facebook, but we'll just share it a little bit later. But it really was just on my heart this week to share that yesterday was my 5-year anniversary with the company. And I just was reflecting, you know, some of the things kind of like the then and now, and just the excitement that I had at the very beginning when I first said yes to this, not really knowing exactly what I was saying yes to or even what I was getting myself into. Look at this tonight. But honestly, I'm just so thankful that I trusted my gut because I know that it was just a situation where I was put in the right place at the right time. And thankfully, a good friend shared this opportunity with me. And, you know, I knew that it was hemp. I knew that it was not marijuana. That part was shared with me, but I didn't know what the difference between hemp and marijuana were. Like, I didn't know what the implications of that actually meant. But, you know, I was like, sure, I'm going to spend $300. I spent $300 and had really nothing to show for it, you know, at the end of a weekend. So what's the worst that's going to happen? Little did I know that I was going to immediately have great results. But what really got me excited about this is the fact that it was a brand new industry at that time, 5 years ago. And again, this was March 2nd of 2019. It was a brand new industry. The company had just launched on February 6th. So it was literally 3 weeks old. And I knew that it was based in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I was like, well, gosh, that's in my backyard because I'm from a town that's about 45 minutes from Wilmington and I actually went to school at UNCW. So it just made sense to me. So I said yes, not even knowing what I was actually getting into, like I said. And the funny thing about it is that I was always a hard no on anything. If I heard direct sales, I was like, no, not interested. I don't have time for that. You know, I was building a real estate business, really was not looking to add something else to my plate. But I just knew that I knew that there was something special about this. And I'm so thankful that I did trust that gut, that intuition, because like I said, very quickly I started feeling better. But the best thing is just all these amazing friendships that I've made. Like all of you who are on this call tonight, just like the cross-team collaboration, the support that we have among each other, among our whole teams. but also from the top down. It comes all the way from Meredith and Sterling Cook, our founders, the ones who were, the heart behind this mission. And they're in the trenches with us every single day. And that just blows my mind. I mean, I've worked in, I was a teacher. I was a special ed teacher was my trade, what I went to school for. And I taught for the federal government. I taught on the local level. I taught, the county level. I worked at pretty much every level of education. And not only was it, like I made what I made and I had no opportunity to make bonuses or, gosh, I earn incentive trips and things like that. But there was really nothing about it that really pushed me personally to dream, like to really think bigger, to think outside the box of what might be possible. It's like I had a salary, I had good benefits, and it was what it was. I got the summers off. That was kind of like the draw of it, quite frankly. But getting involved with this and seeing a whole different world of opportunity. And, I've just realized that a company like Green Compass is so much more than, in our case, more than hemp, more than CBD. It really is like a personal development company for me, and these beautiful built-in friendships that just happen to be wrapped up into a hemp wellness company, and I didn't even know how much I needed this in my life to push me and drive me to level up and to get outside of my comfort zone, and just in my time with the company, being asked by corporate to do trainings for the whole company and things like that. And I'll be honest, like my first knee-jerk reaction just in myself is like, oh no, I can't do that. I can't possibly do that. Why? I get imposter syndrome and all that stuff. I don't know if any of y'all relate to that, but I'm like, why would anybody want to hear from me? But then I flipped the script and I'm like, why wouldn't they want to hear from me? I've got a really powerful story. I've been able to build a really good business and help hundreds, if not thousands of people, like me personally, but my whole team, definitely thousands and thousands of people in a 5-year period. Like that is something amazing to share, and that I get to share it every day is it just blows my mind, honestly, that I get to do this and I get to attach a paycheck to something that I feel so passionate about. And, in the beginning for me, I'll be honest, there were some people in my life who weren't really necessarily supportive of what I was doing. And, it's kind of funny how sometimes you would think that your friends and your family would be the people who would support you most. And that's not necessarily the case. I have found that perfect strangers in many cases have been supportive of me, cheering me on. And I don't know if any of you girls have experienced that, but it's just been just a sweet surprise about this, But like I said, the best part to me is the community, that I get to do this with all of you. I actually look forward to doing this on Sunday nights, and how cool is that we all take time out of our very busy lives. We've all got a lot going on, but we look forward to not only spending this time together, but also bringing this message to the masses because it's so important. And to me, like having a front row seat on this revolution that I believe is happening in healthcare and moving away from sick care, it just literally fires me up. And that's why I titled this, like the thrill's still there after all these years, because that is how I feel. I had this incredible excitement at the beginning, but the more I've learned, the more I have impacted my own life and the lives of other people. And then obviously, the friendships and all the things that we get to experience together, our trips together and, all that. I'm even more excited about the future because I know the leadership we have. I know where Sterling and Meredith and our whole corporate team are taking us. And to be a part of a company that not only is based in my home state, but the farm is in my hometown. That gives me just such immense pride to be from this little county in North Carolina, Columbus County, that typically is known for, the most morbidly obese rates or like the most COVID deaths or the whatever, highest crime rate is typically what you find in a lot of rural, small town America. So for me to be able to share with people that Green Compass is not only based in North Carolina, but that our farm is right here and it's right in my backyard. And our farmers know my dad, like they go to our family restaurant and have pizza, every week. Like it's just crazy to me, you know? So for me, I've just kind of been in my feels this week a little bit about it, but you know, just reflecting back on kind of like where we started and knowing that, you know, like I remember hearing that Meredith and Sterling in one of our meetings recently, just a recap, I think it was at leadership, that you know, in that first year that we were expected to have a good year would be somewhere between $300,000 and $500,000 in sales. That would have been a really good year. And if I'm remembering correctly, we did that in our first month. I remember we almost broke the internet that first month, you know, with our first generation website. And we're all here. We all survived that. So, you know, that's pretty exciting. But to know that we ended our first year, which wasn't even a full year, it literally was 11 months at almost $12 million in sales. I think it was 11.8 million. And then the next year, you know, the big scary thing happened that shut down the world. And then we doubled our sales I think we landed at like $25 million in 2020. And to me, that is just a testament to the fact that not only are people looking for what we have, but people are looking for an opportunity. People are looking for a work from home business that they can do. That's a legitimate, important business. Something that's changing lives on such an impactful level. Oh yeah, and Meredith just wrote, and we doubled again in 2021. Right now, I think we are looking at about a $50 billion industry by the year 2030. And one thing that I remember Sterling saying when we were at our leadership conference is that last year we closed out, well, not in 2022, we closed out at 5% of market share in 2022. And at the end of 2023, we had captured 12% of the market share for all hemp and CBD sales in the nation. That is huge. And to put that in perspective for you, if you think about the company New Balance, a little company y'all may or may not have heard of, they have captured 3% of the athletic shoe wear in the country. Okay, so 3% and then our 12% in hemp and CBD sales. And we secured the number 2 seat behind a very, very popular brand that is a household name. And so it's just really exciting to know that our little 5-year-old company, and a part that all of us on this call right here, the Flawsome Foursome, we were foundational in laying that groundwork, you know, because we have been here since the very beginning, who, you know, many of us we didn't know what we were really doing, but we were excited about it. We were passionate about it. And we knew that we had something really, really important to share with the world. And now it's just so cool to be on the other side of it, to be 5 years in. And I can say that not only am I as excited as I was then, I'm even more excited because of that, because of this radical transparency that we have in an unregulated industry. And I think Dawn's going to go into some of that, you know, a little bit later in our conversation, but knowing that we're bringing in a whole new product category in the summer. You know, some of it, we have some ideas what it may be, but we already deal with over 100 different botanicals in our products. So we are morphing from what started off as a CBD company, then became more comprehensive hemp wellness. And now we're going to a more lifestyle medicine, botanical wellness company. So take that, you know, for what you may or may not read into it. But anyway, I touched on, you know, something that, again, I was always a hard no to direct sales because I just didn't think that it was something for me. But I have learned that it's a brilliant business model. It is so simple, and it's something that literally anybody can do. I don't care how busy you are. And I actually find that the busier people are actually even more successful. But I'm going to let Meredith take over and talk to you about that and just address the big elephant in the room of, you know, the scary pyramid.
Okay. So I'm going to be reading some facts, so just hang tight with me. But I do want y'all to think for a minute, because I see it all the time. I am a part of job Facebook groups, so they're like, you know, I'm looking for a job, this, that, and the other. They'll tell me what they do, da, da, da. And the very last tagline they say is, no MLMs, please. Well, I hate to tell you this, you're missing out, because the brilliant thing about this plan, about this business model, is that you can quite literally do it from the palm of your hand, no matter where you are. And that is part of the freedom that comes from doing this business. I own and operate my own brick and mortar store. I'm here in it. And my husband and I are honestly a lot of times tied to that brick and mortar store. If we don't come in and we don't have employees there to fill in at the front desk or the landscaping portion or in the nursery or going to mow grass, guess who gets to step in and pick up the slack? That would be me. This is literally an army of one. This is a business of one. Granted, yes, we do build teams and we encourage people to join us on our mission. But to me, the reason why I encourage that is because I know what this company and what this mission has done for myself and what it's done for Kelly and Lisa and Dawn and Rebecca and what it's doing for Autumn. So if you are considering this business, or if you are a closed-minded person, you've already sold yourself short and said, nope, I'm not doing that, you're really kind of pigeonholing yourself into a position where you're not going to do anything with this business. But for a moment, I want you to think about the structure of any traditional brick and mortar store business or any just e-commerce business online. There are people that are behind the scenes that are running those businesses. There are people behind the scenes that are running Grants Creek Nursery every day. Yes, Philip and I are at the top of that company. And then we have managers that are underneath of us. And then underneath of them, we have laborers. So you can see really quick how that honestly in and of itself turns into a pyramid. There shouldn't be anybody in the company, honestly, that's making more money than what Philip and I are making. Hopefully, some years it's not that good, but then some years, you know, we're traditionally the big man on top, and we should be gaining all of the benefits and reaping the rewards of running this business. The cool thing about multi-level marketing is you could be at the top of your food chain. We'll just call it that. I don't want to call it a pyramid because that's not what it is. You could be at the top, but very easily and sometimes quite quickly, somebody could surpass you in sales and team building. One of the things that set multi-level marketing, direct sales apart from pyramid schemes is the fact that there is the capability to out-earn the person that came in before you. With pyramid schemes, you can't do that. You can never out-earn the person that signed you on. And they really are quite literally feeding off of and funded by the recruitment of other people. That's how they get their money. They don't have a product. They're just recruiting people, and they're also telling you that the ceiling is limitless. Now, I'm going to tell you, in multi-level marketing, is the ceiling limitless? Yes, we do have a limitless ceiling. You can make as much money as your heart desires as long as you are putting in the time and effort. You are not going to get to the top and to be one of the best paid people in the company without putting in the time and effort. And a lot of times that is significant time and effort on the front end. You will be grossly underpaid before you are grossly overpaid, because at some point that machine flips and you will find yourself doing less work, more of a maintenance type situation to keep that machine rolling, to keep that ball rolling. What is it? An object in motion continues to stay in motion. If you stop that object, it takes a lot more effort to get it to go back to motion again. As long as you're staying in motion, that train, that machine will continue to just keep on clicking along. Sorry, I gotta look back at my notes. One of the other things that sets MLMs apart from pyramid schemes is that we provide a legitimate product or service that has real value. A lot of pyramid schemes don't have any obvious product. You see a lot of people out there that are kind of like selling these courses and things like that, and you don't really have any idea what they're doing. You've never seen one. Nobody's ever kind of like showed you a video of what it is or anything. Those are some things to just be aware of. MLMs have low startup costs that are often include the tools and the products or the services in that low startup costs. Pyramid schemes encourage a large initial investment and continue to ask for reinvestments. When you become a part of a multi-level marketing company or a direct sales company, you are enrolling and getting typically what we call a business kit. Your website comes with it. You get a conglomeration of different products for you to buy, use, sell, trade, however you want to do it. But you are getting a physical, tangible item in return. And guess what? If you just buy that kit and you get all of those tangible items and you don't do anything else with it, there's no penalty for that. You walked away with a great deal. For us, for instance, we have our business kits have a 50 to 60% discount on all of this whole huge kit of products, CBD products and things like that. You walk away with a great discount on a bunch of amazing items. And if you walk away and that's it, then that's it. But, nobody's going to chase you down and be like, hey, I know we need some more money. You got to get back in on this thing because we need the money to keep the train rolling. That's not how it works. Where am I? Okay. Multi-level marketing companies are upfront that earnings are generated from direct sales or from others that have recruited and that are earning and that earnings are ultimately based on your effort. So there has to be an exchange of something, okay? In order for me to make money, I have to sell a product. Now, I don't typically like to use that word that I'm out there selling products. Quite honestly, with Green Compass, we are telling stories. We are telling our testimonials. We are passionate about the mission that this company is about, and we each and every single one of us have our own testimonial as to how these products have benefited ourselves or our family. And if you don't believe us and our stories, we have a product hub page on Facebook that has thousands of testimonials that are extremely relatable to every single person, and I have yet to been able to not find a testimonial that does not relate to somebody in some way, shape, or form, that they can't just see, well, she's not blowing smoke. She's actually telling me, and here's 50 other people that have used it for what I am asking about, and they're getting good results. Really, honestly, all I can say is, all I know is it has worked for X, Y, and Z. And these other people have said, all I know is it has worked for X, Y, and Z. And that really honestly is what we are doing. We are sharing our testimonials. So I don't want you to be afraid of the term sales. I'm not into, and I tell people this all the time, I would rather have 5 passionate people about what this product has done for them in their lives than 100 used car salesmen. Because I am not a used car salesman. I'm not going to float you up the river and tell you something that you need to buy when you don't need to buy it. I would try to save you a load of money if I can, and that's by using the best products for you. Pyramid schemes promise large earnings with little effort. Multi-level marketing direct sales comes with comprehensive training and support on the products, recruiting, and sales communication. Pyramid schemes have poor or non-existent training, or they charge you for the training. I've seen some companies that make you pay for training, which is just ludicrous. Multi-level marketing presents the opportunity, explain how it works, allowing people time and ability to make a well-informed decision. Pyramid schemes are often aggressive in their approach, and they may use false information and deadlines to urge people to join quickly, because that's what they're doing. They're just literally turning money over and over and over again. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to sell you a business kit and then skedaddle on our way. I want you to use that business kit, and then I want you to tell everybody that you know what this product did for you and how it has changed your life. And I want you to go out there and find other people's lives that need that change in their life. That is what we are about. We are here to change lives. We are here to improve the health and wellness and financial stability of other people like us. And that is what we are doing. There was a couple of other things I wanted to kind of touch base with. Just businesses in general, especially commission-based businesses. Commission-based, I have my best friend is in commission-based business, and if she doesn't sell it, she don't make the money. That's very exactly like what multi-level marketing is. It is a legitimate business plan. If you don't sell it, you don't make the money. I even have some friends that are in commission-based businesses, and this is a little, this one kind of is crazy to me. He sells irrigation parts to Grants Creek Nursery. He only makes a commission over and above on the sales from last year. So if we purchase $10,000 worth of irrigation parts in 2023, he only makes commission on the sales that he makes to us over $10,000 in 2024. Like, that blows my mind. So he's still got to work to get to the 10 grand, but then he's got to work even more to get past that. That's not this, y'all. We get commission off of every sale that we make. And then the cool thing is we have preferred customers who are repeat buyers. They get a discount for being a repeat buyer every single month. It is sales that I don't have to necessarily continue to chase or work for. Now, don't get me wrong. I check on my customers. We discuss their results. We try and help each other out with, what's going to be the best product for them, make sure that everything's working correctly. But that commission is rolling in every single month because they're continuing to use that product that they run out of every single month, and they know how well it benefits them. So they're getting another bottle in March. They're getting another bottle in April. They're getting another bottle in what's after April? May. So that's the really nice thing about this business model. It is reoccurring income, quite literally reoccurring income, that I don't have to bust my butt to continue to get every single month. Now, do I want to build? Of course I want to build. I want to continue to tell everybody what this is doing and tell my customers, friends, and family what it's doing for them as well. So we continue to open our mouth. An open business is only run by an open mouth. And so we continue to tell them what they need on a level of what's going to help them. There was one other thing. Oh, well, something else that I read online was that some people don't make any money in MLM, make very little to no money in multi-level marketing. I can tell you for a fact that there are plenty of brick and mortar stores and e-commerce stores who have made little to no money. That has nothing to do with a business model. That has to do with your own personal skills, number one. And number two, what does the person who's becoming a part of the MLM want? Not everybody wants to go out there and be a multimillionaire only by MLM. Some people, like myself, enjoy being in their family business, and I will never leave Grants Creek Nursery, but I love what I do with Green Compass because it gives me it's about autonomy. It gives me a totally different feeling about helping people than tell them to go plant this shrub in their yard. So not everyone out there wants to be the person who is making six figures and all of the effort and the work that comes with that. They might need a couple of extra $100 a month to supplement dance lessons for their children, or help to offset the cost of daycare, or even offset the cost of their own CBD products. So with that being said, that right there to me is just a blaring, like, that's kind of a weird fact to throw out there, because I've seen plenty of brick and mortar stores, especially in the last 6 months, and it's heartbreaking as a small business owner to watch that happen to people. But the economy has just slowed down, and they're having to close up their shop because they can't pay the $2 to $3 grand for the brick and mortar space. They can't afford to keep the utilities on. They can't continue to pay someone to sit at the front desk. These are all legitimate business costs. Do you know what business costs I have associated with my business as an MLM? I have my cell phone, which is a tax write-off. I can write off the miles on my car, but I've got to have a car one way or the other anyway. And there's a few things that I do here and there. Like I have a training platform that I participate with every month that I get really good information from. That costs me $365 a year. And then I have something like MailChimp where I send out emails and stuff like that. And I have $10 for my website monthly from Green Compass. That is legitimately the only thing that they ever asked me to pay for is a $10 back office analytics fee to run my website and to run all of my back office analytics. It tells me everything that my customers are doing, tells me everything that my business partners are doing. It gives me all of the training information and way more than I could ever even look at this point, videos and things like that. So this isn't a scam, y'all. It's a very, very well thought out, very well planned business model. And I have way too much personally at stake with my name and my business, my family business, to get involved into something like a scheme or a scam, like so many people think that for some reason this is. It really comes down to how much effort you're willing to put into it. And people who don't make any money at it or who lose money at it, you can not make money or you can lose money in any business. It is not single to MLM. So I'm gonna tee it off over to Lisa.
I think Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah,
Yes.
Dawn's
Hello.
going to talk a little bit about what distinguishes us, I think.
Distinguishes us. Okay, so it's funny, but while Meredith was talking, I'm thinking about just things that you're saying. And the funny thing for me was when I came over to this, again, product user only, that was my only intention. I was so afraid of the sales part of it and being like the icky salesperson and, what would people think? And I saw an advertisement for a business, a brick and mortar business in the state of New Hampshire, which was actually equally as surprising to me as what their business was, that they had a brick and mortar business where that they were advertising that people could pay to go in and dress up like babies. Adults could go in and dress up like babies. And right. And then you start thinking like, listen, you're so nervous about sharing with people something that could help them to be the healthier version of themselves. It could be helping them emotionally, physically, financially. And you're so afraid to share this gift with people. But here you are. There are people that are out there paying somebody else to put a diaper on them and make them a warm bottle of milk. And so, when you really start to think of it from that perspective, it's like, all right, well, maybe what we do is not so ludicrous, right? Maybe I could share it with people and tell people about it. So I digress. That just popped into my head while you were chatting. So, but in this business too, Meredith did touch on that this is not a get rich quick scheme. None of it is. And if somebody is telling you that you're going to come in here and be a top earner and make 6+ figures, which there are lots of those people in our organization, it does not mean that you get there instantly. And what we have found is that there are these serial network marketers who will jump from hot company to hot company to hot company, not invested in the business itself, not invested in the product and what it actually does for people. So, there are a lot of people that are going to go for like the shiny things, like little shiny gold objects and just chase after them. That's not what this is. This is genuinely us wrapping our arms around each other, linking arms, and figuring this all out on our own. So none of us were those serial network marketers, but what is it brought to everybody's life is a little bit different. I mean, I work 2 days a week now at the hospital as a nurse, and the rest of the time I get to be home with my youngest child and at the farm and doing all the other things that are here that I feel like are calling me and have a higher importance. So, and it's not that I do not enjoy my job, but we were talking a little bit about, that pyramid, right? And even a hospital has one person at the top management and then all of the laborers, if you will, right? All of the boots on the ground doing the hard work. Well, guess what? Our for-profit hospital, for instance, gets all of the money up at the top, and no matter how hard we work, we are still just going to get the same amount regardless. There's no recognition, there are no trips. For 10 years of service, I got a lapel pin, which I don't even know if I own a lapel anymore, frankly, and an umbrella, and it's like, anyway. So there are lots of opportunities out there for people that are genuinely have the heart in this and that are interested in doing something bigger. So the company itself is, I think, the part that really set the hook for me. So I joined, actually, today is March 4th, is it not? So today is actually my 5-year anniversary with Green Compass. So it was 5 years ago today, I joined literally just to get that giant box of sunshine and do nothing else with it. But what I will find was over time, as my story grew and got better and better personally, my experience with the products, and then I witnessed it happening with my son, that was a no-brainer for me. I just started telling people about it without even realizing that I was doing it, but I just knew that it was something that they had to have in their lives for themselves, for their children, for their pets, etc. And then the more immersed I got into the company, I started to, you have to remember, we literally were this mom and pop company that were packaging products from their garage and shipping them out. And this is not the bottle of tincture, but I actually have a bottle that way back when has a wonky label put on it because one of our farmers was helping to hand label things back then. So to see the strides that we've made, the leaps and bounds, is truly remarkable. And it's like being a proud parent. You can kind of look back on your child's successes and kind of cock your head to the side and say, oh, like, I'm so proud of you. You've done so well and you've done things the right way. And we know this because our company was asked last year to go speak before Congress about hemp and the hemp industry, right? So we have had the FDA come to us when they are seeking information about how to best set forth guidelines for the hemp industry and for CBD. They have come to Green Compass. They've sought us out to say, listen, we want to know how you're doing things, because they're looking for guidelines so they can help replicate some of the things that we're doing and bring it forward to this market, which is otherwise like the Wild West. At this point in time, there is no sheriff in town saying that people have to do things the right way, which leads us to the fact that, I think it's 9 out of 10 bottles of CBD that are tested randomly are going to contain 0 CBD in them. The 10th will contain some, but it won't be the same quantity as advertised, right? So when you start to see that and you see a company doing things the right way, not because they're forced to, but because it's the right thing to do, that to me was truly like the guiding star, which I followed. And this company has gone back, we talk about transparency, quality, it's all USDA certified organic. We could cut costs and nobody would tell us that we didn't have to do this, but it's not the right thing to do. And it is important to the outcome of our customers, their successes, their quality of life, etc. So what we've chosen to do is be as transparent as possible, meaning I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if you can see that QR code on there. So that QR code is on the bottom of every single product that we have, which is it shows total transparency, because that will lead you to the third party, not our lab testing, but the third party independent lab test for the product you're holding in your hand. That is so significant because of the type of product that we have. It's something you're ingesting. It's something you're giving to your grandma, to your kids, to your pets, right? You want to know that you have a quality product that you're putting in your system. So not only that, but we have a chief science officer that we have hired. We have a chief medical officer. Way back when, the very first year in business, we actually partnered with the University of North Carolina in Wilmington and built a biotech facility at this, a lab and research facility at their biotech division. From there, we've been working on research and development. We've been working on new products, how best, safest, cleanest delivery methods for these products. So we're going way above leaps and bounds. And there may be some, but I am not familiar with any other company that has taken the level of quality and standards to this height. And especially in the absence of guidelines, because there will be guidelines coming out, in the not too distant future from the FDA, but this is not a food or a drug. So they don't regulate it. They don't tell us we have to do things a certain way, but there will be some guidance that people are expected to follow. And when that comes out, I know that there's going to be a lot of companies that have to fall by the wayside and financially cannot actually catch up and do things the right way like we are already. And they're going to have to drift off because they will not be able to meet the standards that are expected of them. That being said, we have a big commitment to the community, and we have the four of us on this call actually, and have all gotten to know the founders of our company, and they're everyday people. They're a mom and a dad that started this company for the benefit of their own children. So if that doesn't tell you right there the amount of quality and integrity that they put behind the product that they're making, then I don't know what else does. So it's funny, but when we first started this, we actually used to have corporate visits on a regular basis, and they would come out to events that we had. And we had an event in West Bridgewater, Massachusetts one time where Meredith and Sterling Cook came out, so the founders of the company, and they know us now, and we had gotten to know them a bit. And to this day, of the sea of advocates that they have, they know all four of us by first name. They know our families, they know what's going on with us. And so in West Bridgewater, we were sitting there having an event, and come to find out, I'm sitting next to Sterling Cook's grandma, and had this great opportunity to talk with her and get to know her. And, he came over and was telling me how they have some distant roots in Massachusetts. And, it's just, I love the fact that they're real people. So they're not some celebrity endorsement up here that actually has nothing to do with the products or the company, but just the face of a company, right? Like the Gronk had a CBD that he was endorsing years ago, or, Jennifer Aniston endorses a collagen or whatever it is. Well, guess what, guys? These are all paid actors, basically, right? They're the face of these products because they've been paid to do so, not because they actually have aligned themselves with the quality of that company and have chosen to do so because of their belief in the company. And there is a big difference there. So without further ado, I'm going to pass this on over to Lisa, and she's going to wrap it up for us with some goodness.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Woohoo. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's funny because I might go a little rogue because I did have planned kind of what I was going to talk about, but the way our friendships goes and the way our partnership goes, I think you guys touched on a lot of things that I was going to kind of bring full circle, but there's a few things that I think are really important to share. And that whether it's the business or the products that you're here to learn a little bit more about, I need you to understand this. They are for everybody. We have little babies using our products. Remember, Dawn mentioned that these products were made a mama on a mission, making them for her children. So we have babies taking them all the way through people who are transitioning at life end and everybody in between. We all are dealing with some type of anxiousness, hormone imbalance, as I'm having a hot flash, brain fog, pain, sore, achy joints, inflammation. We're looking for our families, our children to be able to focus more. All of those things. The business is no different. Most of us love the products. We are not, and that's why we're sharing, because we love them. we got in because we didn't know what we were talking about. But once we saw what it was doing for our family, for our friends, for total strangers, I knew it would be, I don't know, that I wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't share. We have, I was just thinking of just my personal team at the moment. I have 2 young men on our team who have just opened up their business within the last couple of months. They're in their 20s. I have women who are nurses. I have a grandma. Well, I'm a grandma, but an older grandma in her 70s and some in their 80s. And we have couples and we have stay-at-home mamas and we have engineers and auto mechanics and bankers. It is for everybody. And the more I sit and listen, the more I wish I would have understood this opportunity way back when my kids were little, when I took a second job, but I had to work the hours that, the boss tells you that you have to work. Where this, you can work when you choose to, as long as you work it. And I think it's so important that we all understand that. There's so many different ways to get involved, whether it's, or reasons to get involved in the business side, whether it is to pay for Johnny's basketball, whether it's to offset groceries, whether it's to pay for your car, whether it's to get out of corporate America. It can be any of those things and all of them in between. I got involved to, help my best friend feel better and live better, who happened to be my husband. And so that we could be active longer. But let me tell you, what it transitioned into was so much more. It is a lucrative business, but even more so than that, it is this community that I never ever knew that I needed, never knew that I wanted. And obviously financially, it's been life-changing, but again, life-changing is different for everybody. So I want you to remember, people, we're not slinging leggings here. I love a good pair of leggings, but this is truly something special. And when you get involved, it's like Meredith said, it's a very low investment to get involved. It can be anywhere from $49 to $4.99, totally whatever you want it to be. And you can make it be whatever you want to be. And the opportunity is the same no matter which kit you buy. Some you get just the business with, some you get business tools and products with. That's the direction I think people should go, but it's anybody's game. They can do whatever they want. And the person who buys the least expensive kit can be as successful or more as the person who buys the biggest kit. So know that maybe you just want to get into it to get a good deal on your CBD every month and get a little kickback. Fine. How about getting $600 worth of free CBD every year? What about that? And that's just for simply sharing. So, I'm going to just wrap it up with this. It might be for you and it might not be for you, but that's not for us to decide. Our job is to literally share the information with you and let you decide on what works best for you. But I know this, if you feel it's not for you, I know for a fact, you know somebody that is praying for something like this, whether it's to help them feel better, sleep better, have their child focus more, or to help them pay for those additional expenses that they don't know that's going to come up. So I'm going to wrap it up with this. I'm going to go back to what Kelly said about dreaming that really just hit me hard. And what I want you all to do, if you're all still here, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine for a moment what your day would look like with less anxiousness, better sleep, reduced pain, more friendship, more support. Maybe a day that you didn't have to worry about those unexpected household expenses. Maybe it's a day when you're being celebrated because you don't get celebrated in your day job. If you were experiencing those things, how different would your life look? What would you be able to accomplish? What role model would you be to your children? And with that, I'll tell you this. You don't have to only imagine it. You just need to have one conversation that could possibly bring your dreams to reality. So if that speaks to you or speaks to someone that you know speaks to your heart, I just ask you to share this information with them. And on that note, the Flossom 4 is so thrilled that you are here with us tonight. I know we went a little bit long. Sometimes we get a little passionate. And we will all see you next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Lisa. That was beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you all for being here. Love you all.
Love you
Love
too.
you.
Love
Bye.
y'all. Miss y'all.
Bye.